Layers and what are they and how to use them within InDesign. Before we begin, can we all go to Windows, Workspace, and make sure we're set on Essentials, and then Reset Essentials. That will just make our workspaces the same. Collapse any palettes that open, and go to File, Open, and we're looking for the layers ducks.indd file. Once the file's opened, can we open or expand our layers palette? In our layers palette we already have 3 layers set up, one called Kill, one called Layer 2, and one called Layer 1. At the moment they are all hidden, so to be able to view what's on the layers we need to toggle the Show Hide button, which is, you see the square here and the square there to the far left. Click once in each square and it will show what is on those layers. If you click again on those, it will hide what is on that layer. Obviously, kill all ducks isn't a nice thing. Ducks are cute. We're going to delete that layer, obviously, to get rid of that. So, to delete a layer, we can simply select the layer and press delete, or drag the layer, for example layer 2 here, into the bin. But we first need to identify what layer kill all ducks is on. There's more than one way of doing this. An easy way to tell what's on a layer is to toggle the Show Hide. Obviously it's not on layer 1. Or you see these colours, the colours indicate the colour of the bounding boxes. So the ducks layer, or the layer with the ducks on, is blue. There we go, blue. Kill has got red, red. So we can select that layer and quite safely delete it. Next up, we're going to rename the layers with the ducks on. Again, we have to make sure we're doing the right layer. So, rename the layer, we're going to call it ducks. Now, not to get its bounding boxes, i.e. the colour blue mixed up with the one above it, we're going to change the colour of the bounding boxes to yellow. And then just do OK. Now you may notice that the ducks layer is actually locked. It's got this little padlock icon on it. That's to stop us from accidentally moving it at any point. So it's kind of locked for editing. Now we're going to select layer 2. We're actually going to rename this layer and call it Hills. And we'll change it to green. And press OK. Now with our hills layer selected, we're going to draw some very, very basic hills. First off, we're going to start with our rectangle tool and draw the frame. Then we are going to select our ellipse tool. For the moment, don't worry about the colour, and draw some hills. I'm no artist, as you can tell. When that's all done, I'm going to change the colour of these objects. Obviously we could have an object selected, go to our swatches panel, find a colour like green and select that. Now I want to do the whole lot in one go, so I don't want to select. Now there are multiple ways of selecting everything on a layer. As we're looking at the layers palette today, I'm going to use the layers palette and simply click on this little square icon and everything gets selected on that layer. Now they're all selected, we can go into our swatches and select the colour we want them to be. I'm going to go back to my layers palette. Now with my selection tool, I'm going to drag that right down to the very bottom. Click off. Now obviously there's a problem here. The ducks should be above or in front of the hills. So we're going to grab our hills layer and drag it behind our ducks layer to rearrange it. Now the ducks, obviously there is some problem here. The ducks are actually in front of the grass. So we need to put the ducks behind the grass. Now the ducks and the grass are on the same layer. So it's not a case of juggling the layers, it's about juggling the objects on that layer. Again, there is more than one way of doing this. we could select the ducts independently and go to Object Arrange. As we're looking at layers today, we are going to use the Layers palette. So we're going to expand the ducts layer. But remember, this palette is all locked for editing, so we can't actually move anything or adjust anything at the moment. So we have to click on the lock to unlock them, and now we can adjust. So the cute little ducks PNG, we are going to drag behind the grass, like so. Then we're going to collapse the ducts layer. Now next up we're going to add a new layer to add some sky. So at the bottom of the layers palette is create new layer. So we've added a new layer, we're going to rename it sky. If yours doesn't come up as light blue, you might as well change it to light blue to indicate sky and do OK. Now we're going to draw a rectangle to fill the page from bleed to bleed, and go into our swatches and just change it to cyan or the dark blue depending on what mood you're in, but we go for cyan. Go back to our layers palette, and obviously this should be behind everything, so we're going to drag that behind our heels layer. Going to click on that empty part of the pasteboard, so make sure you've got your selection tool selected, click on the empty part of the pasteboard just to deselect everything. And then if we go to our preview, remember hold your mouse button down, we change it to preview so we get an idea what it's going to look like. Now by default the quality settings for bitmap graphics are very jagged. This is to keep the speed up in the program as more and more things get stacked on top of each other. But if you want a better visual representation of what it may print like, you would go to View, Display Performance, and make sure this is set to high quality. That way it renders slightly clearer, but it will have an impact on the speed of the program.